It has been said that there are moments when another person's words can penetrate your defenses with the unseen sharpness of a hidden blade. Initially, it may be subtle, a jest, a derogatory remark, a rumor that sullies your reputation in circles beyond your influence. In that small wound, a primal instinct awakens, the desire to retaliate, to raise your voice, to clarify, to protect your name, to establish your innocence. Yet, the instant you yield to this impulse, you surrender your power to them. A person who cannot maintain their composure when provoked is a person susceptible to manipulation by anyone wishing to control them. As Marcus Aurelius noted, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. However, this is a realization most people never achieve. They mistakenly believe that strength is demonstrated by constant retaliation, by insisting on having the final say, by perpetually proving that they will not be disrespected. They fail to recognize that every reaction is a form of payment, a small portion of your tranquility exchanged for a fleeting moment of clamor that ultimately gains you nothing. The Stoic philosophers understood this principle long before it was given a modern name. They perceived the mind as a fortress, not because it is impervious to attack, but because entry is impossible without your consent. Epictetus articulated this by saying, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." If another's gossip can disrupt your sleep, if a contemptuous gaze can cause you to abandon your principles, if a trivial insult can embroil you in petty conflicts, then you never truly possessed control over your own mind. People provoke you to test your boundaries. They want to discover your breaking point, the volume at which you will shout, the number of minor provocations required to make you visibly bleed for all to see. Once they witness you break, they have learned the precise method to do it again. But the individual who remains steadfast, who breathes through the insult, the falsehood, the disrespect, becomes untouchable in the only way that truly matters. This is not because they are immune to pain, but because they refuse to fuel it beyond its initial cost. Observe the world around you and you will see people dedicating their entire lives to explaining themselves to audiences that were never interested in the truth. They fight against shadows merely to prove their own strength. They pursue insults down empty corridors until the only response is the echo of their own voice. This is not a display of strength. It is a form of bondage. True control begins when you recognize the initial urge, the flicker of anger, the torrent of words you wish to unleash, and you consciously extinguish it before it can consume you. Seneca once cautioned, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself."
Many misinterpret this. They believe it means proving oneself through physical force or a raised voice. But adversity is the trial, not the performance. It is the opportunity to demonstrate to yourself that your serenity is more potent than their turmoil, that your silence can endure longer than their noise. They will label you as cold. They will describe you as arrogant. They will call you unfeeling. Allow them to. They desire your outcry because your silence forces them to confront their own weakness. There is an ancient lesson in the nature of fire. A small flame requires oxygen to expand. If you cut off its supply, the flame is extinguished. Every time you react, you are breathing life into a fire someone else has ignited for you. Every time you maintain your composure, you suffocate that fire until it dies out in the darkness. Consider the instances when you have been provoked. The text message that goaded you into sending a reply you knew you would regret. The gossip that compelled you to defend your name to individuals who had already formed their opinions. The minor disagreement that escalated into sleepless nights, replayed arguments, and squandered hours you can never reclaim.
What did any of that yield? What did it truly alter? A disciplined person understands that most battles are not worth engaging in because they are not battles at all. They are snares. They are traps designed to capture your focus, your energy, and your freedom. Many speak of self-control as if it were a simple virtue one carries, but control is a weapon. It is heavy and requires daily sharpening. Its true edge is only known when the world attempts to blunt it. As Aristotle stated, anybody can become angry. That is easy, but to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, that is not easy. The next time you feel that provocation, that sly comment that strikes a nerve, pause, take a breath and ask yourself, does this moment warrant my fire, or is my silence a more powerful response than their noise? There is no virtue in allowing yourself to be trampled. Stoicism is not a disguise for weakness. It is the discipline to discern when stillness is a weapon and when it is a shield. At times, the greatest retaliation is not to mirror their chaos, but to ascend so far above it that they are left choking on the dust of your progress. At times, the most powerful statement you can make is to say nothing at all. At times, the most significant victory is the one you refuse to be drawn into.
Observe people when you deny them the reaction they seek.
Witness how an insult disintegrates when it meets the unyielding wall of your composure. See how their gossip collapses upon itself when you do not pursue it in an attempt to quash it. Notice how powerless someone becomes when you refuse to satisfy their craving for your emotional response. True power is quiet, because it understands that noise is of little value. True strength is still, because it knows that storms abate more quickly when you do not chase the wind. True calm is formidable to those who thrive on drama because it reminds them of their own insignificance. There is a reason that lions do not react to the barking of dogs. Maintain your silence when they demand you be loud. Preserve your peace when they wish you to be restless. Safeguard your mind when they attempt to occupy it without your permission. They will call you cold, but a cool mind does not get burned. They will call you heartless, but your heart will beat steadily while theirs races with pointless agitation. Your calm is a weapon. Wield it as if it were the only one you will ever need. Because eventually, when the same people return to provoke you once more, they will be reminded of the one thing they cannot tolerate, that nothing they say can make you flinch, and that is when they will learn. Some individuals remain untouchable because they know that control is not something given to them. It is something they hold, quietly, firmly, and without moving. That is the lesson. Hold it, guard it, embody it. And when they push, stand as still as the mountain that is oblivious to the wind's existence. So, stand where you are. Let the world push. Let the noise batter against you. Let the words swirl like tempests that never touch the bedrock beneath your feet. Hold your calm like an impenetrable armor. Walk away when the contest is trivial. Speak only when silence would be more costly than the truth. And always remember, the person who controls themselves cedes authority over their peace to no one else. Some lessons can break a person. This one is designed to make you unbreakable.